Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? I am Random Hero. I have another video for you today. We will be discussing Last.fm. If you're not sure what that is or have never heard of it, it is a music scrobbling app and it's a website as well. And what this does is allows you to basically keep track of what you listen to on a daily basis. And the benefits of that are very simple. It allows you to find other artists. Um, Very good app. For me, being a music lover, it's amazing. I mean, I found so many different artists that I would have never even known about just by using this app. And it's supported on PC apps, supported on Android apps, and it's a great overall app. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop the website open real quick, and you can see right here. This is my profile page, and it allows you to see artists similar to what you listen to. And you can see actually right here. So, for instance, Chris Cornell is recommended based on listening to Incubus, Soundgarden, or Stone Temple Pilots. So, obviously, if you didn't know who that was, that's an obvious choice, being that I listen to Soundgarden, that it would recommend Chris Cornell. Um, so you can actually click on albums. It'll recommend that as well. You can click on tracks. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is based on what you listen to. So if you haven't listened to anything or haven't tracked anything, you're not going to have any recommendations. So now you can see here, if you go to if I go to my profile here, you can see all the things that you've listened to recently. It'll tell you how many scrobbles are basically how many tracks you've listened to, how many different artists you've listened to, your library of basically songs that you've listened to, um, and it just goes down. You can see the top artists that you've listened to recently, your top albums, and stuff recent. And then obviously you have comments. It's basically a kind of like a social media site for music, in my opinion. So now what you could do, let's say, for instance, I have Fuel here that I've listened to recently. Um, and it tells you when you've, listened to it or whatever. So you can actually go down on Fuel. It'll show you their albums. And then right here, it'll show you similar artists. So you can actually click here, for instance. Um, and obviously, a lot of these are they were at one point mainstream, so you probably know about them. Trap, Default, Crossfade. But there might be other ones that, for instance, like I didn't know a whole lot about Smile Empty Soul, which ended up being pretty damn cool. So, um, like I said, a lot of these bands are Earshot, for instance. I had never heard of them until, browsing through, listen to them. And what you can do is, for instance, Earshot here. You can and use this site uses Spotify to play the tracks, but all you have to do is basically just click this play track, and it'll play the track. You can see if you like it. You can scrobble through Spotify as well, um, just in case you were wondering. But really cool, and it kind of tells you, the global, scrobbles as far as how many times you listen to this band, or people have listened, how many times you've listened to this band, and just recent history. It'll tell you basically a Wikipedia type bio for them, the type of music they are, and you can search by different genres, whatever it is. So like I said, very cool. This site's it's awesome. So let's, for instance, we can search. I just completely blanked. Nothing More, right? Because they're awesome. So if you go to Nothing More and click on here, so you can see their albums out. And again, you can go through, a lot of different bands, same kind of stuff. So, but see right here is where they add some of the tags in here are ridiculous. I don't know where they get them from, but you can click on progressive rock, and then you'll find artists for that specific topic. So, or genre topic. Um, okay. So now, how to get started with it, right? So what they have is you can actually download. Um, you can download the Last FM Scrobbler for Windows, Mac, whatever, and I will show you that here. So you can see like everything you listen to will scrobble, and you have the chance to favorite it, whatever the case. Um, you have your profile, your friends, stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, just an overall cool app. There's a lot of different apps that support it, like Winamp. For me, I use MusicBee. Uh, Very cool app because it does podcasts. If you're into that kind of thing, you have an auto DJ, all that type of stuff. I'll get into this app later, but you can see down here it does scrobble to Last FM, so everything I play here will automatically get updated to it. So now if I go to this band here and just type on the song and we start playing it, let's turn the music down here. Now if I go to Last FM, and there it is, you can see that that song is being played. Now it only, if you don't play it all the way through, there's a certain threshold on the song you have to get to before it'll actually scrobble to it. So let's go ahead and pause that, and we're gonna get that out of here. So that's kind of a, you know, as far as that goes, how to do that. You can set it up for, obviously you're gonna um, put your profile on here, whatever. Like I said, it's pretty simple. You basically make an account, and obviously this isn't just geared towards rock or anything like that. Every genre of music's on here, and like I said, there're just so many different artists on here. Pretty much any artist you can think of, unless they're just obviously like a local band that hardly anybody's heard of, they're gonna be here. And you can actually make the profile for the artist. I've actually had some local bands here in Arizona that were not on Last FM, and I actually made them a profile. Um, Obviously, not everybody's gonna be that into it where they'll do stuff like that, but I feel like some of these bands just kind of go unheard of because they're just not known. They're not mainstream. They're not on the radio. They're not the same shit that you would hear every day that sounds like everything else. Now, honestly, sure, you might find artists that are kind of fit in that mold where they sound like everything else because they're just kind of going with the trend to try to get themselves popular. But there's a lot of bands out there that sound unique. And like I said, without looking, you won't find that. I mean, there's so many times where I peruse through Last FM just to try to, find new artists to listen to because stuff gets stale. I mean, it really does. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of a rundown on this app and site. And, it's something like that. It's just so easy to get into. And for instance, as far as Android goes, I use Google Play Music because I have a lot of music. Like I said, I have probably 20,000 songs at this point, and I do purchase my stuff legally, by the way, just so for anybody that's interested. I think that's the way you got to support the artist. You know what I mean? Stealing people's stuff, what does that do for them? I mean, they're trying to make a living as well, um, and it's the right thing to do. Now you may say, oh, well, they got a bunch of money, but hey, they spent their money making that music. You enjoy the music, support it. And that's the cool thing is it'll link you directly to um, the album, and you can actually buy it, whether it's through Amazon or anything of that matter. Like I think you can actually get it. You can search for the CD. You can search for uh, a digital download only. So let's just search. Let's just search Metallica. So we can go in here and we can go to albums here, and there it is. I mean, we can go in here and buy it. It'll tell us how much it is for the MP3. You can search it for physical media, eBay, or iTunes. So, I mean, it's just awesome because, like I said, if you like it, like just buy it. Right there, you don't have to go anywhere. I mean, it'll obviously take you automatically somewhere else. So, I mean, it's just, and then obviously they show when there's events coming up or anything of that matter. And like I said, you can kind of message back and forth between different people. I've had different users recommend artists to me, say, "Hey, go check these guys out if you like this band." I'm like, "All right, cool," and hey, you might just stumble on a band that you really like and you've never heard of. So that's just kind of a quick rundown. Um, as you can see, that's my username if you wanted to get connected with me. Um, but I think that's about it for this app. If you have any questions, which, hey, you never know. So if you have any questions, just ask. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it.